Thank you for joining us here at Celebrating Success. I'm Shirley Moran, and this is
Erik Mara.
And today our special guest is Tim Roberts, professional trainer, fitness model, and founder of Bodies by Tim. Tim, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Tell me, how did you achieve your transformation?
Well, it's a few different things. I can't definitely say it wasn't one thing specifically. I know when I first initially thought of losing the weight, I was at the river and I just had told myself, hey, you know, I'm 22 years old. I am not in great shape at all. I'm probably in the worst shape of my life. And that's what kind of encouraged me to start my journey, you know, and just really focused on telling myself that I wanted to do it and I wanted to make sure that, you know, I made it happen. So just went from there.
There's people out there who say that they want to change their life and then the next week they fall back, but with you, you just did it in one shot and realized, hey, I got to do this right now.
Well, I think for me, I mean, I did actually go off and on. I mean, I think for all of us, we always try to start and stop, and I think it's the consistency that once you notice that, you know, when you keep going, you don't stop, that you start seeing results and you start benefiting from the track of not stopping and just keep going. And I think that's really what encouraged me to keep going, is I started seeing results and I was like, wow, this is a culmination of the fact that my effort hasn't stopped, so obviously my results aren't either.
Now, did you have anybody that inspired you along the ways?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think for a lot of us, we're always inspired by our favorite athletes, our favorite, you know, figures in the fitness world. I mean, for me, I think, you know, Scott Herman and Rob Riches played a big role in me helping educate myself properly on how to do things and how to stay safe and still get your results and push yourself. So I think it's very important for everybody to look out for your heroes, you know, look up to people that make you feel good about yourself and encourage you to be as fit as they are.
How long was the journey from that one day until you finally say, you know what, I'm here?
Well, I think for every avid, you know, athlete, I think you're never there really. I think it's more or less you're satisfied, and then that's when we all internally pick a new goal and we move on and we continue to push ourselves. But for me, you know, initially it took me a good 10 to 14 months. The first few months I fell off and got back on. You know, I'd go over to the gym for a week consistently and then I would fall off for maybe a month and be like, no, whatever, you know, who cares? But yeah, about 10-14 months to get the weight off. And then, you know, being in a neutral body state where, you know, my body fat percentage was normal, you know, I started working out, and that's when I started seeing the physique change, when I was like, dang, you know, like I'm getting, you know, ripped or whatever. So it was pretty cool. It was fun.
So how much weight did you lose total?
Well, when I first started, I was about 215 pounds, 24% body fat. And after the 10 or 14 months, I had lost about 68 pounds, almost 70 pounds, and I was probably close to 9% body fat. So it felt good. I mean, I could tie my shoes. I didn't have to let my breath out, you know. Like, I remember before, I'd be getting ready for the night, and I'd have to let the air out of my lungs to get my stomach out of the way to tie my shoes, you know. So stuff like that was definitely encouraging, you know. I mean, when you go from, you know, struggling just to get ready for the night to being the spotlight of the night. Everybody wants to talk to you about what you did and how encouraging that is for them to do their own.
You were talking about 9% body fat. Where are you at right now?
Right now? Well, I think all active models that do the shoots and do the filming and are actively in, you know, auditions for acting parts like that, usually we try to stay between 5 and 8%. I mean, bodybuilders get way down to maybe 3%, but currently I'm probably about 6.5. I don't go too much lower than that unless I'm on stage, because to lift I need a little bit of fat. My joints need to feel good. So
what would you tell the people that hasn't seen your photo and seen your photo for the first time here? What would you say to them to get them started?
It's really simple. You know, the easy part is the gym. You should be having fun in the gym. And I think people are too chillaxed on the eating, and if they just eliminated a couple things. I mean, you don't have to be ripped. You know, I started Bodies by Tim because I wanted everybody to just to be comfortable in your skin. I'm not trying to get everybody just jacked. I'm trying to get everybody to where they can walk around and they feel confident in their body and they feel confident in themselves and they feel good, you know.
So when you first started trimming down, what training styles did you start with, and what did you find for yourself that works best?
I remember when I first started working out, to be honest, my training style was I would switch from 30 minutes of working out to 30 minutes of cardio. I probably did that transition 4 times in a day. I was at the gym for like 4 hours. I thought like, okay, let's just break myself down to where I feel like nothing, and that's what you need to do, and that's not what you need to do. You gotta work out smart, you can't work out hard, and if you're gonna do stuff, you know, let's work out smart. I originally had gotten a book that Robert Kennedy had written, a really awesome author that unfortunately just passed away, so major condolences to his wife Tosca, who's also the cleaning lady, and she's really sweet. But his book, the Encyclopedia A to Z of Bodybuilding, really taught me a lot about the foundations of working out and how there is a tempo, there is a rhythm, there is a process of working out and rest and repeat. And so I followed that simple basics, a couple things, and I started losing, you know, instead of 5-10 pounds a month, I was losing almost, you know, 15-20 pounds a month. So just the dynamics and the simple process of applying some rules to my workout really helped. So I would say now that I am where I am at the level that I compete and that I do all the shoots, I always work out high volume. I always try to do minimal rest. I love incorporating very active fitness. You won't really see me on cardio equipment very often because I always train for marathons, and that to me is plenty of cardio. So I'm usually okay with that. But you know, it's definitely, I think that if you're able to push your body and you're able to stay safe, like I said, the hard part is the diet. The training's fun, so have fun. And if you're not having fun, you're doing something incredibly wrong.
You know, a lot of it too is depending on who you're surrounding yourself with or who you're hiring to be your trainer. That can make it or break it.
Absolutely.
So if they're going to make it fun for you, of course you're going to stick with it. But if they're going to torture you and you're going to hate it,
yeah,
you're not going to, you know, you're not going to do it anymore.
And that's another thing is I never, ever thought, okay, I need a trainer. You know, I always thought to myself, I can do this. You know, I had been fit when I was younger. I think when we're all 17 years old, you can have Taco Bell 7 times a day and you're still lean. You know, I knew I could do it, and just that thought in my head, you know, I think people really got to get the mental strength before they get the physical strength. You know, I used to always encourage myself. It's funny, I haven't told many people, but when I first started working out, one of the things that I told myself was, I tell myself as I was struggling on the treadmill with my legs rubbing together and the rash, and it was so bad, you know, you're so heavy and you're like, God, I hate being here. But I would tell myself, I would say, are you an American? And for me, being patriotic as I am, oh my God, that like fueled me like no other. So I kept saying that in my head. So, I mean, I'm not saying beat yourself down or say that, but I would definitely encourage all of you guys to use, you know, the image of your children, use, you know, encouraging people, use your favorite athlete, use these things to help, you know, continually push yourself that you know you can do it. So
yeah, I always had that mental picture for myself too whenever I would work out and train. So I understand what you're saying.
When you first started your journey on the journey to staying fit, how was your diet like in the beginning, and then how it changes over time?
Basically night and day. I mean, when I was selling cars, your main priority is to stay awake and make sure that you're looking for the car that's coming in, you know. So my diet was 5 rock stars a day, and then when I got done with the day, about 11 o'clock at night, I would stop by the Del Taco by my house and get, you know, about as much Del Taco to feed, you know, a small family, and then I'd eat that. So that was my diet for about 2 years, and you know, I gained almost 70 pounds, about 35 pounds each year doing that. So for my diet, realistically, I knew I couldn't change everything overnight. So I gave myself about 2 to 3 weeks per bad habit to eliminate certain things that I knew for a fact were diminishing my health and not helping me reach my goals. So say soda, I'd give myself about 2 weeks to stop drinking soda, and then after that I would just start adding things on top of another one to create a more cumulative effect of my health, you know. So after maybe 2 months I would have drinking more water, I would have stopped drinking soda, I would have stopped eating late, I would have stopped eating out, I would have eliminated processed foods, stuff like that. You know, you have to give yourself enough time, because realistically, if you try to rush it, and you didn't give yourself the right amount of time, you could have possibly achieved what you wanted to, but you just rushed it. So take your time and believe in your ability for your body to change. You know, little things like your hands getting lighter and you know, your feet getting less swollen, and your legs stop rubbing together. Stuff like that is stuff that I really looked forward to benefiting from, not just being ripped or having abs or anything like that. You know, to be honest, I think I had abs the entire time. I just didn't know because my fascia was so full of fat, you know?
It was just covered up by layers and layers of fat. Wow, that's really...
Thank you. Layers and layers.
Well,
Come on, Tim. In the picture, there were layers and layers.
Yeah, it was layers. It was pretty bad. I mean, I was, instead of winning, I was like chinning. So it was like... But yeah, and then, you know, as far as like my diet right now, like I said, I don't really have an off season. So to bulk, you know, my diets usually consist of more starchy carbs, you know, potatoes, oatmeal, you know, things like rice that are more whole and filling for my muscle. When I start cutting down, I include more salad, more veggies, more fruit, stuff that's a little bit more lighter in nature and gives me more endurance energy, so I can work out longer and create a more, you know, metabolism effect. So it's really good.
So you're just keeping it clean. It's just adjusting the amount of food you eat. So yeah, keeping the healthy lifestyle depending on what you need to do.
Yeah, single nutrient, wholesome, clean, organic, you know, food that you're cooked at home. You know, when you're in control of your food, it helps a lot more, and it actually gives you the ability to control the way your body looks a lot. You know, my training really doesn't differ too much. It's really the diet that helps me achieve my physique a lot of the time.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining us. This has been very educational, very inspiring. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who's going to take a lot from what you've said.
and thank you for having us over too. This is Fitness One Gym where we're at right now. So if you don't know where it is, like I said, hit up bodiesbytim@gmail.com and come by. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, everybody. And for more information and tips on fitness and working out, follow me on Bodies by Tim at Twitter. Obviously, I have a Facebook, bodiesbytim at facebook.com. And then always check out my blog at bodiesbytim.wordpress.com for more free information on working out and diet.
Well, thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is Shirley Moran.
It's Erik Mara. We'll see you for the next show of Celebrating Success.